Hi everyone, thanks for watching. In today's episode, I simply want to talk about what would have happened had Trump run as a Democrat in 2016 instead of as a Republican. And there's a reason I want to explore this, which I'll explain in a minute. In this alternate universe that I'd like us to imagine, it's once again June 16th of 2015. Trump is again descending the escalator to announce his presidency, like a king coming down off his throne to speak to the peasants. Only this time there will be something completely different in this alternate universe. No, I don't mean that his campaign didn't once again hire actors to make the crowd look much bigger than it was. Considering Trump's long history of exaggeration and hyperbole, it would be rather shocking if he didn't use astroturfing for this event, so we'll leave that part in there. What's different this time is that Trump recognizes that the easiest path to the presidency is for him to run as a Democrat. On June 16th of 2015, in this alternate universe, Trump announces that he intends to seek the nomination of the Democratic Party for president. Running as a Democrat is not only more in line with what his true beliefs have always been, but Trump reasons that his lofty goals about infrastructure and a border wall and a space force are big budget items that are much more attainable with a Democrat-controlled Congress. But there's a reason that Trump sees the party on the left as his ticket to the White House. You see, in this alternate universe, Hillary Clinton was not the de facto nominee for the party. In fact, she decided not to run in order to spend more time with Bill and even travel the world. In this alternate universe, of course, no one was happier that Hillary wasn't the de facto nominee for the party than Bernie Sanders. But even without Hillary around, Bernie didn't stand a chance against Trump, who easily won the Democratic Party nomination for president. Trump's opponent in the 2016 general election ended up being Ted Cruz, the darling of the right. But as intelligent as Cruz was, there was simply something about Trump that he couldn't match up against. Perhaps it was Trump's willingness to stoop to any level to insult someone, or make up any falsehood in order to praise himself. But even though Cruz usually ran rings around Trump in the debates, there was simply something about Trump that made him an unstoppable force. Whatever it was, Cruz also didn't stand a chance against Trump in the general election, especially with the media and the politicians on the left uniting against him. And millions of Democrats simply hated Cruz so much that they were willing to hold their nose and vote for Trump. Cruz, just like all the other politicians Trump went up against back then, was left on the side of the road, just like an old sofa that no one wanted. The general election wasn't even close. Trump won the 2016 election in a landslide, dominating not only his political opponents along the way, but saturating the media to such an extent that it was difficult to find a news article that wasn't about Trump. Over the next few weeks and months, as this alternate universe headed into 2017, the Republicans began to speak out against Trump and the type of man he is. Donald Trump does nothing but lie, said alternate universe Senator Lindsey Graham. The fact that the left is so accepting of him speaks volumes about their lack of morality. Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio was also among the first in Congress to speak out against Trump in this alternate universe. The man is not only lacking in simple human decency, but the very fact that the Democrats can align themselves with him and defend what he says and does demonstrates their complete lack of ethics. In early 2017 of this alternate universe, evangelist Franklin Graham released a short statement that stunned the evangelical community. For so many decades, we have warned about a coming man of sin who would lead this world into the abyss. The many biblical descriptions of that man, known as the Antichrist, lead me to only one conclusion. That day is here, and Donald J. Trump is the Antichrist. On the left, things were quite a bit different in early 2017. Democrats quickly learned to not criticize Trump lest they feel his wrath. Instead, in this alternate universe, liberals constantly complimented Trump and played to his immense ego as a means to an end. President Trump is truly a remarkable man, said alternate universe Nancy Pelosi. We are proud to work with the president to pass everything in our proposed $10 trillion budget. We have the hardest working and most creative president ever, added alternate universe Chuck Schumer. Those on the right who criticize President Trump over even the tiniest little things are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. Even the media was on board with Trump in this alternate universe. The New York Times and the Washington Post would consistently publish articles defending Trump and lambasting those who oppose him as anti-American and possibly even treasonous. Yes, the alternate universe where all these things happened was sure crazy. But here's why I spent a couple of minutes exploring what would have happened had Trump ran as a Democrat. It's because we shouldn't be deluded by politics. They don't matter. If things were reversed 7 years ago, the left would absolutely love Donald J. Trump today, simply because he was a Democrat. They wouldn't care one iota about his constant lying and deep vileness. As long as Trump attacked the Republicans, he would be looked upon as a hero by many on the left. And likewise, if things were reversed 7 years ago, the right would uniformly hate Donald J. Trump today, simply because he wasn't a Republican. They wouldn't care one iota about making America great again, or immigration reform, or anything else. As long as Trump defended the Democrats, he would be viewed as a villain by many on the right. And this should tell us all we need to know about not only the Democrat and Republican parties, but politics as a whole. It's all a lie. One party or the other is not less corrupt or less sinful than the other. And because of that, one party or the other is not somehow closer to God or more in line with the Bible. I meant this video to be a bit lighthearted, but I also wanted to drive home the fact that if things were reversed, it really wouldn't change anything for our future. Because Donald J. Trump, whether he had run as a Democrat or a Republican, does perfectly match the biblical description of the Antichrist. And no matter what the next few months and years hold for us, we're not going to find salvation by being loyal to any political party. The only salvation we're ever going to find is through Jesus Christ. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. If you care to leave a comment, please do. As always, please be respectful in any comment you leave, especially towards those with whom you disagree. I'll talk to you guys soon.